Okay, this is the second day of my, I guess, daily diary recording for losing weight. And just to be super clear, this is losing weight for me, not necessarily for anyone else. But if anyone does learn something from this, that would be awesome. I actually won't be sharing these anyway. Maybe when I feel more comfortable about myself and more confident in my videos, I will post it. I realized yesterday the video that I did was on my phone, and I stupidly and very amateurishly had it the wrong way. So my very first video has, the two black bars on the side. This video is being done on my work laptop, so yay for using my work laptop. I am in my office, so the lighting's slightly better here. As you can see in the background, they are doing some work and scaffolding on the outside of the office. They are actually going to be adding in transitional windows, so that should be interesting. So I guess I won't need to have the weird, crappy plastic curtains anymore. So let's see. Yeah, I'm at work, and I know this outfit probably does not look very professional, but I work for a technology company, so what are you gonna do? And I actually just got done working out not that long ago. So I think the way I'm gonna structure my videos is I'm gonna talk about what I did for working out, a little bit about what I ate, and I will also talk about how I'm feeling, or maybe like my mental state at the time. So today for my workout, what I did was I did all upper body. It was actually kind of rough. My upper body is not the strongest. My lower half is way stronger, as it is, I think, for most women. So what I did was I did 5 sets, 10 reps of wide grip assisted pull-ups. And so those are the machines that you probably see at the gym where you have, you're able to do the pull-up, but there's weights there to kind of help you so you're not pulling up your full body weight. I set the weight to 200, so I was only pulling up 32 pounds of myself. But trust me, 5 sets to 10, it starts to get really, really hard the last set. I then did incline barbell chest press. For those, I generally, just to kind of warm up, the first set I'll do 45, the second set I'll do 55, and then after that I will do, today I had to do 65. I will say I super duper love weight training. I really hate the gym. I tried to go there at an earlier time today, so I didn't hit so many different people because I go to 24-hour fitness, and so it's pretty crazy packed. Unfortunately, there's just like really no getting around it. So like one of my sets, I ended up doing a flat barbell chest press versus incline. And then I did seated dumbbell overhead shoulder press, and that was at 15 pounds. I did bicep curls, 15 pounds. I did rows, so using one of the big bars, it was 50 pounds worth. And it's basically the bent over row. And tricep cable press down. And the weights at my gym are weird because depending on which machine you end up getting on, 30 is really hard, like 30 pounds is really hard, and then 50 pounds is really easy. I ended up having to swap machines a couple times because, again, there were so many people there that it was a bit difficult for me to really find a place to kind of settle down. And I'm doing these in one full superset, so I'm just basically running around the gym because of the way my gym is set up. These are not that close to each other. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, I can't just be like, get off the machine because like it's my next set or whatever. So, I just kind of had to make do and make alterations where I could. Oh, and then I also did 20 reps of hyperextension on a stability ball. So that was my workout today. In terms of my food, I've been following kind of like the 21-day fix plan. So making sure that I'm eating a certain amount. I'm supposed to be eating like a certain amount of calories, but honestly, I think it's supposed to be like 5 proteins and 4 carbs and 3 this or whatever. So I planned it perfectly. However, because of the types of food that I've chosen and the way that I cook them, I'm not getting the full, I guess, caloric intake that I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be getting an intake of 1,800 to 2,000, but I'm hitting around 14 to 1,600. And like I said, I think it's not necessarily the quantity of food that I'm lacking, it's the foods that I'm choosing that are lower in calorie. I'm kind of picky when it comes to food. So, for example, like meats, I mainly eat chicken and tilapia, and I will have like a steak or something, but I'm not a huge red meat eater. Um, Same thing with fruits and vegetables. Vegetables, it's pretty much green beans, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli for me, and spinach. Um, Fruits, I'm pretty open to. I don't generally enjoy eating like honeydew melon or cantaloupe, so I'm more of a berries person. So I'm more on the blueberries, strawberries. I also like peach, and peach is in season right now, so that's been really nice. And my office is actually pretty nice because they bring in a lot of healthy fruits, and so I don't necessarily have to buy them. I just have to make sure I get it in the kitchen before anyone else does. So in terms of foods, that's kind of what I've been going on. Oh, I did say I would say my measurements for posterity. So why don't I go over that right now? As of 7/19, and these are all in inches. My ankle was 7.5. My calf was 15.5. My thigh was 25. My hips are 48. My waist is 42. The high part of my waist, I always kind of like call that out because it's a lot smaller, is 34.75. My bust is 43. My arm is 12.75, and my neck is 12.5 around. So my goal is to, as I mentioned in my last video post, is I'll post my weight and my measurements once a week. I guess that's all for today. This video post is actually taking a lot longer than I thought it would, especially considering my very first one was maybe 3 minutes or so. But I guess it doesn't really matter. This is for me. So anyway, I'll post again tomorrow and we'll see how I feel. Oh, right, how I feel. So it was interesting because I'm kind of doing a long split right now. On Monday, I did my legs. Tuesday, I did the same workout that I did today. Wednesday was kind of a rest day for me. I did take a pretty good walk. I live in Seattle, so there's a lot of hills. And I went pretty much all the way up one of the hills, and I walked around, and I came all the way back down. And that was about 2.5 miles of walking. It took me about 45 minutes. Sometimes I'm sure like maybe 7 of those minutes were taken by the fact that I had to stop because I was at a crosswalk. But I'm pretty happy with the fact that I was able to do that at all. So going up those hills can be a bit killer. Ironically, though, I'm happy to say when I woke up this morning, I wasn't so sore. On Monday, after I did my workout, my legs were like jelly, so that was pretty horrible. And my arms were okay on Tuesday, but then today when I woke up, because I did legs on Thursday, they weren't as sore, and so I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I didn't like push myself enough, or maybe I didn't challenge myself enough. So whatever. I mean, that was also 5 sets of 10 of torture. So there isn't too much to be done with that either. But upper body today was really intense. and partially because I had to up my weights, which means that on Tuesday I probably could have done more. I didn't want to do a ton simply because it was my first time working out in a really long time. So I wanted to be a little bit more careful about how much weights I did. But I was kind of forced to do higher weights today because people kept taking my weights, so I couldn't get the lower weights. Um, but anyway, overall, like my upper body at the end, I was pretty freaking exhausted. Oh, right, and in between my sets, I take a decrementing 5 second break, which means after my first set, I would take 25-second break. After my second set, I'd take a 20-second break. After my third, I would take 15. After my fourth, I'll take 10, etc. Yeah. So obviously, no taking breaks in between really keeps your heart rate up, and it almost feels like, I don't want to say a Tabata, but it kind of feels that way. So your heart rate's constantly going because as long as you're kind of, the way I see it anyway, as long as you're pushing yourself in your weights, and as long as you're working really hard, you're doing a good job for yourself, right? I'm not really a girl who's afraid to lift heavy. Like I said, just because of my stature, I don't foresee that I will be incredibly bulky or buff when this is all over. Um, in terms of my feelings, I feel okay. I mean, so according to my scale, I lost 4 pounds, so I'm weighing 228 now, but how much of that's water weight or I don't know. I try not to put too much stock in weight just because I do, like my body type does gain muscle very quickly. And because I gain muscle very quickly, I, you know, um, gain weight. So it's a little depressing sometimes to get on that scale. My friend, who is a personal trainer and a nutritionist, I've talked to her for a little bit because I was explaining to her my emotional craziness with losing weight. And she told me to think of 5 things that will, 5 things physically that I love about myself. And that's really hard for me because I don't really love myself physically. Like I said, I mean, in terms of my own thought of my own appearance, is I am not unattractive, but I put a lot more stock into my mental and intellectual capacity than I do in my physical. So it's going to be a bit difficult for me, I think. I'm going to try to think of 5 things I like about myself before I see her because she said we have to talk about it. So hopefully that'll help me, and I really am hoping that doing these diaries will help me stop sabotaging myself and my progress. All right, now I'm out after an additional like 2 to 3 minutes talking. All right, bye.